Calabash, I just bought a Nokta triple score and it's got a ton of settings. What do I do? Well, if that is your question, I'm here to help you guys today. I'm going to show you the most efficient, easiest, proficient way to learn the new Nokta triple score. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. This is a powerhouse and a well-priced metal detector. I've used the Nokta Legend and other Nokta products. In the triple score, I've been testing beta versions on it and on the Legend, as you guys know that follow my channel. And at this current time, there's just been a new release on the beta version for the beach for the Nokta triple score, which puts this up there competing with the big boys on the saltwater beach. This is September the 6th or 5th, 2024. So things may change even in the future, but at the current state, great performing unit. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about how do we learn this unit. It's a simultaneous multi-frequency unit with 3 settings for simultaneous multi-frequency. What do they do? Well, there'll be live demos in this video of the settings that we go over on this board back here in just a minute. So stay tuned for later on in the video where I take this out and live demo it in real time and give you the Calabash Digger pro tips of the day to help you with the triple score where you're not, out in the field and the seed of doubt creeps in. You're not finding anything. Well, have I got my triple score jacked up or setting tweaked in the wrong way? Well, by the end of this video, I hope that you will have 100% complete confidence in your settings when hunting in mild to moderate soil, that you've got your new triple score set up in a way that you can compete with other detectors if they're out there with performance. And if you're out there by yourself, you know that you're able to find the goods if it gets under this coil. But you see, I got a little setup in the background here, and I've been using this for different detectors. And these principles not only apply to Nokta, but they apply to different brands too. A lot of them do. But we look at the recovery speed, and I've got that at the top. Recovery speed has a very drastic change on these modern day simultaneous multi-frequency metal detectors. A lower recovery speed will get you better depth. A higher recovery speed overall in general will get you better separation, but there's pros and cons to both. With a lower recovery speed, you lose separation. With a higher recovery speed, you lose depth. So where do we set the triple score for mild to moderate soil? Well, we're going to live demo that and show in just a little while where to set the triple score. But recovery speed changes the reaction speed, as you will see in the demo. So the metal detector hits a target and it has to reset itself to go to the next target. When you increase that, you lose depth. When you increase it, you lose depth. When you decrease it, you gain depth, but you lose that resetting ability or the speed of the resetting ability to going from one target to the other. But even the triple score, even at its lowest setting, is a very, very, very fast unit. Now, we've got another setting. We've got frequency, and then we got one of my favorites here that really can be quite confusing to the new user of simultaneous multi-frequency. And I'm just going to break this down real quickly. Manufacturers have put these iron filters, and different detectors from different manufacturers have different lingo, but iron filter for Nokta. And what it does is it allows the end user the ability to adjust the iron filter up to help with falsing iron and big iron, or lower it down and gain unmasking. And it's basically based on the user themselves, which level that they want to set it. But I'm going to show you a good general all-around setting. And at this current time, September 6th, 2024, in this beta version that I have, an iron filter setting of 3 or 4 is where we're going to learn this machine. So if you were worried about we'll get to frequency, but if you were worried about the iron filter right here, you guys don't worry about that. 3 or 4, complex setting, solved. Now, with that being said, I have people that live on the eastern coast of the United States in mild to moderate soil that are relic hunters that hunt heavy iron, and this is the setting that they have been using with a lot of good luck, and they've found a lot of good stuff already with the triple score in heavy iron sights. So that will help you with nail faulting, and it will still let the machine have good unmasking capabilities in ferrous and non-ferrous situations. Non-ferrous is silver, gold, the good stuff. Ferrous is iron, rubbish. Of course, there can be a good iron artifact too, but for this video, ferrous is the rubbish, nails, etc. iron. Then we get to a more complex topic here from iron filter. We've moved on 3 or 4. We're going to go to, let's see here, let me get back over here. We'll go to, we're going to go to frequency. This is the more complex topic, but we're going to break it down very simply because it's really not that complex once you kind of get the gist of what's going on. Higher frequency, hotter on gold. Better unmasking in ferrous iron. It will pull non-ferrous targets out better over lower frequency. Lower frequency, hotter on silver. But don't get that confused. I'm going to show you something with a triple score on a big silver $1/2 here in just a few minutes out in my test garden between the depth between M1, which is a lower weighted frequency, M2, which is a higher weighted frequency, and M3, which deals with wet soil conditions, etc., etc. I'm going to live demo that for you. And in mild to moderate soil, it's not a drastic depth difference, say, on silver. So high frequency will hit silver and low frequency will hit gold, but I tend to stay with the higher frequency because there is a big difference in iron unmasking capabilities on the triple score from M1 to M2, and I'm going to show you guys that. It's very drastic. Depth, not so much in mild soil on a coin size target, but if you're hunting smaller stuff, M2, like for gold, M2 will be more sensitive. And if you're especially hunting relics, M2 is the way to go, and M3. M1 would deal with modern trash better in a park scenario if you were dealing with aluminum foil. We know that aluminum foil reads kind of in the gold range, so if you're chasing gold, you dig trash, basically, aluminum foil. And M2 would be hotter on the aluminum foil than M1. So if you were chasing coins in a park area, not a whole lot of iron, a lot of modern trash like foil bubblegum wrappers, M1 might be your go-to to help you get around that foil. Or M3 would also be very good. Frequency, recovery, iron filter. There's the gist of those 3. Let's go out and live demo those settings, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the settings in the middle of the magic 8-ball triangle, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're going to look at frequency. We're going to go to M1. We're going to look at this unmasking test, a nail and a nickel. Remember what I told you about M1 versus M2? Clearly can see which one the better unmasker is, and M3 is surprisingly doing good in this particular test too. Now let's look at recovery speed. This is a low recovery speed of 1 on the triple score, which the triple score is a fast machine even at 1, so watch this and listen real closely. Hear the tone elongate with a slower recovery speed. Here's a high recovery speed. Counts off each one of those targets. Nickel, nail, nickel, nail, nickel. Very quickly. Let's look at the depth of a high recovery speed versus a low recovery speed. Stay tuned. All right, guys, let's look at a recovery speed of 1 on a 12-inch silver half. Let's look at a recovery speed of 5. Hardly anything, and let's look at a 3. Calabash digger tip of the day. Recovery speed of 3 is your starting point for great separation and great depth in mild to moderate soil. One more note, look at the sensitivity on this unit. I'm not running it all crazy, and look at the depth that I'm getting, and look at the stability in this high EMI area that I'm in on this unit. So remember what I said about sensitivity? More is less sometimes. We want stability over erratic machine then you can hear the deep stuff even better because the machine is more stable. Now we're going to talk about M1, M2, and M3, and we're going to look at the depth. We've seen a drastic change in unmasking between M1, M2, and M3. Let's look at the depth on the silver coin. M1, M2. Actually, I believe M2 is even stronger. M3. M2 is my go-to multi on this machine. And you guys hear it with the same settings. M2 seems to be doing better. But on this machine, M2 is my multi that I use 99.9% of the time. Stay tuned. All right, guys, I hope that that live demo gives you a better understanding of what the settings do in real life time and where to set up your triple score. Now, one of the most important aspects when learning these detectors is the tones. And I have really honed in on this, whichever brand or detector I'm teaching on, and that is the tones. When you're learning the triple score, or for that matter, any other metal detector, you want to set your tone options the same in whatever program you're using. If you're using park program, field program, and beach program, when you go into this metal detector and you set up your tones, you want to make sure that they're the same. If you're using 5 tones in park, you want 5 tones in field. You want 5 tones in beach. If you're using pitch, like I do because I'm an artifact hunter, and I also like pitch on the beach because it tells me non-ferrous or ferrous. It tells me dig or don't dig in a very alertive way, and that's what I need to know when I'm digging artifacts. A lot of times I'm in a dig it all situation, and I just need to know, is it ferrous or is it non-ferrous? Dig. And pitch really suits me for that. And on the beach it really suits me for that too because it alerts me, and pretty much a lot of times we'll be digging everything on the beach. If you use 60 tones, which if I was primarily a coin hunter, I really would probably be using 60 tones or 5 tones, but different people like different tone options, and I can't really make that determination for you. Iffy Signals, my buddy, uses 2 tones, which I don't care for, but he does really good for that. And I think his father uses 3 tones, so it's all a personal preference issue there. But once you make that choice, spend the time with the tone options, and if you hit on it and you immediately know that you do not like it, then change it. But don't spend an hour, 2 hours of the day and then say, oh, I'm just going to change it because I can, because all that does is reset you back, tricks your brain, confuses your brain, and turns the machine into a different unit. Yeah, that's right. So these units contain multiple units with these different tone options in them. So if you get anything from this video, take the tones that you pick and stick with them. Spend 50 hours with them. If you decide you don't like them, then switch. But just don't be doing that changing back and forth all day. You guys notice the sensitivity I showed you in the yard? Sensitivity, I see this a lot. People think that they need to jack their machine wide open. Did you see the depth that I was obtaining with a 10 sensitivity? Did you see the stability in my high EMI area that I was getting with the machine too? If I had run it up higher than that, it would have started out. Blah, 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 blah. And let me tell you about that. More is less in that scenario, because what happens is when it starts going on, blah, 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 those super deep targets like you heard it chirping on out there, you may miss that because of all the noise. So my suggestion and Calabash pro tip of the day, set your sensitivity lower if need be to get the machine more stable, because more is less a lot of times in the sensitivity category. Now, the discrimination ties back into the iron filter on this machine, but there's 2 things here. Different brands use different, lingo for discrimination. But on the triple score, discrimination is the tone break setting. Well, for learning purposes, we're going to leave the tone break at 10. In advanced settings, could you get a little more out of the unit? Yes. But for this video and learning purposes of the machine, leave the tone break at the factory preset of 10. The iron filter, 3 to 4? And you've got a good starting place. Now, the programs, I am partial to park program. I've done a masking test, depth test, and I just like that program. Not saying that field program's not great too, but I just tend to stick with park program on Nokta products for my relic hunting. And who we got here? Oh, I got a guy calling. Actually, I had a question about the triple and how he was doing with it. So we will call him back in just... Okay, guys. So as I was saying, the programs, you're going to have to choose which program you think best suits you. I can't help you with that. Option. You will have to choose that. Tones, you will have to choose which tones best suit you. I wish I could make that decision for you. So we've got noise cancel and ground balance. And let me just deal with ground balance first. If the machine is running stable in your mild to moderate soil, let the factory ground balance stand. If it's running erratic, then you may need to ground balance the unit. But they have done a real good job with this unit and the Nokta Legend to where the end user does not have to ground balance in mild to moderate soil many times. So here in my area, I never have to ground balance in my mild soil. And I know other people who live in more moderate soil, they do not have to ground balance these multi-frequency units. So if you need to, do it. If you don't, then leave it at the factory set ground balance. The noise cancel is a feature that automatically chooses the best channel for the machine to run on. And I do this every time I use this unit. And I may do it multiple times during a detecting session. I may hold the detector in the air and noise cancel the unit. So when you get to your site, it goes like this. Take the unit out, choose your program, choose your tones, set your recovery speed up, set your iron filter up. If you don't have to ground balance, don't. Set your sensitivity up where it seems to be the stable. Hit the noise cancel, check it again. You can adjust your sensitivity up and down, but remember, more is less. We know where the iron filter goes. We know where to put the recovery speed, and that's it. It's just that simple. Spend the times with the tones like I told you guys. That right there is one of the biggest deals in learning these new detectors with multiple tone options and not setting yourself back and make you spin your wheels, is changing those tones back and forth. And because when you do that, like I said, it makes the detector a different detector. So don't do it. Pick a set of tones, stick with them, and that should ease the learning curve. And I appreciate you guys watching, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and hit the like and subscribe button if this video helped you out. Thanks.